Playing offense versus playing defense. This is one of the most powerful ideas that you're ever going to encounter when it comes to maximizing your willpower and your potential in life, when it comes to actually sticking to your good intentions and following through on the things that you said you would do. And so playing offense versus defense, what it really means is that most people in life are always playing on the defensive side. They're always just reacting to outside circumstances, environments, to negative emotions, to negative thoughts. They're reacting to whatever the world is throwing at them and then trying to, do the best with, what they have. But they're always just reacting. They're always just taking whatever the world is giving to them. And if we think about willpower, that's a very bad strategy, because what happens is willpower is a limited resource, meaning with every decision that we make in our lives, willpower is depleted a little bit, right? Every single day. And what happens then is eventually, especially at night, people tend to run out of willpower, right? They get in a state called ego depletion, where essentially they're so out of willpower, so out of energy and motivation, that they're just at the mercy of whatever circumstances they find in their lives, right? And so then most people, what happens then is they experience those negative emotions and they will simply seek out immediate gratification. They'll seek out whatever is the easiest to do. And so for most people, their environments dictate negative choices. Their environments dictate, eating junk food, taking a cigarette, right? Because those things are available. Their environments dictate watching TV all night, right? Sitting on the couch, eating junk food, doing whatever it is that feels really good in a moment, hanging on social media all night, right? Because that is what's easiest to them. But if you want to play offense, right? Playing offense is really about dictating in advance how you're going to be, how you're going to show up, the environments, the situations, the behaviors. It's about creating those things in advance so that in that moment when you're feeling weak, you don't have to engage in immediate gratification. You don't have to be weak. You don't have to give up, but you can actually stick to good intentions. And so Walter Mischel, he's one of the world's leading researchers in this field of willpower research. What he said was that the ultimate offensive weapon that we can start to use is called Precommitment Strategies, right? And Precommitment Strategies are nothing else but your present self, who you are today, and your logical way of thinking, locking your future self into a certain course of action. Meaning right now, in the present moment, you decide, in the future, I'm going to act like this. When I'm in this situation, I'm going to act that way, okay? And so there's really two ways two tools I want to share with you guys, two strategies that you can start using to put this, really into action in your own life. So the first strategy is simply creating environments that actually facilitate good choices. So we talked about, right, how junk food and, the ability to just take out a phone, right, they facilitate negative choices, right? Because the reality is, whatever is, most readily available to you, in those moments when you're feeling weak, when you're feeling tired, when you're feeling frustrated, when you're low in energy, you're just going to do whatever is most convenient, right? And so if you have junk food at home, the reality is you're going to eat it. If you have cigarettes with you, you're going to smoke them, right? If you have, if your phone is just constant with you, you're going to check it, right? And so offensive playing in life is about deliberately getting rid of those negative stimuli, right? If you have junk food, getting rid of it, right? The idea is really buying your willpower at the supermarket and not hoping that it will show up at home, right? So if you don't make negative choices at the supermarket in the first place, right? If you don't buy that negative stuff in the first place, you're not going to be tempted at home when you're tired and you're lonely at home and you're just kind of sitting there on the couch wanting to eat it, right? You can't do it then, right? Same for cigarettes. If you have them with you right now, throw them away, right? And anytime that you realize, hey, I made a bad choice, I bought them again, throw them away, right? The phone, when you go home at night, right? And you want to spend time with your family, instead of just hoping that you have the willpower to resist it, turn it on flight mode, right? And hide in the drawer, right? And it's really about sort of in advance getting rid of those negative stimuli. We can do the same thing for positive ones, right? If you want to create the habit of running every morning, right? Lay out your workout clothes the night before, right? Make sure that your environment actually, has healthy fruits and snacks and, apples and oranges and that kind of stuff, because that makes you more likely to do it. If you want to write in your gratitude journal, put it somewhere in the morning where, you can't miss it, right? Put it where you have breakfast, right? So that while you have breakfast, you can write in your journal, whatever it is that makes it most convenient, right? So the central idea is simply setting up your environment in ways that actually facilitates good choice in your life. So that's the first key, the first pre-commitment strategy. The second one you can start using is if-then statements. If this happens, I'll respond with this. And this is really powerful because most people just kind of wait for situations to arise and then in that moment try to make a decision. But the reality is that when you're in a negative, you're in a frustrated state, right? You're really pissed off, you're angry, whatever. Something negative happened, right? You just got injured, you just got sick, you just got laid off, right? Whatever happens. In that moment, you're not going to be able to make a good decision. You're not going to be able to make a decision that's aligned with your core values and goals and purpose in life because in that moment, you're just feeling weak. And when you're feeling weak, you tend to make negative choices, right? And so if-then statements are about determining in advance what you're going to do when those negative circumstances and obstacles arise, right? And so the central idea here really is optimistic pessimism, right? It's about being pessimistic in the sense of learning to look at what are the obstacles, right? What are the realistic obstacles, the adversity, the problems I'm going to face in my life, and then being optimistic about it in a sense of what can I do to tackle them, right? What can I do to overcome them, right? So if, for example, you say, okay, what if I don't have time tomorrow to meditate for my regular 30 minutes? What will I do? And what you can do then is simply, I'll meditate for 5 minutes because I always got 5 minutes. And then I'll see how else I could, find some spare time to at least add a couple more minutes, right? So that I don't completely dump the habit, I'll just do a little bit less of it. If, I feel too tired to go for a run tonight, what I'll do is I'll put on my running shoes and I'll head out for 1 minute. Because I always can do 1 minute, right? And the reality is, I know that if I just head out for 1 minute, right, I'll probably keep going. I'll probably not head back and just keep it done. But most likely, I'll keep going and keep adding another couple minutes and I'll start to feel better, right? And I'll keep going, right? If I'm just lazy and I don't really feel like starting that paper for my class, right? What I'll do is I'll take out my laptop, I'll open Word, I'll put my name up there, the date, and I'll write one sentence. Because I know that once I've written one sentence, it's a lot easier to keep going, right? If I feel tempted by immediate gratification, if I feel tempted to smoke, to drink, to overeat, whatever it may be in our lives, what I'll do is I take a couple deep breaths and I'll refocus on who I want to be, on my goals and the standard I set for myself before. And so it's really about getting incredibly clear on how exactly you're going to deal with the challenges that inevitably are going to come up in life. Because the reality is, in life, we're going to face challenges, right? There's going to be difficulties. There's going to be times when we don't feel at our best. And so pre-commitment strategies, whether it's first of all setting up our environment in a way that actually makes it easier for us to engage in long-term positive behaviors when our willpower is low. And then secondly, using if-then statements. So determining exactly in advance our behaviors of the future. Those are really powerful tools that you can use to maximize your willpower and make sure that you stick to your good intentions even when you don't feel like it. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the subscribe button below if you haven't done so to get more videos on mental mastery, what it takes to live an epic life. Thanks so much for watching and see you tomorrow.